Morning, y'all. Happy hump day. It's Kate, Laddie, and Cosmo. And it's about 8:30 in the morning, East Coast time. And I'm just coming out to check on some of the pumpkins I cut last night, or yesterday. I made a little bit of video yesterday, but it was kind of hodgepodge. And I was so busy, finishing up the last little bit of packing. Hey, mister. I know you don't like these pants, so I didn't really mess with it. Hey, back. No. They were still a little sticky on top, so. I picked them mainly from this plant over here, which was looking really sad with the powder mildew, but you can tell. I don't know if you saw them, but these flowers are covered in bees. You see, little bee? There we go. Oh, he's on the other one. Fly, I didn't want to see you. Uh-oh. There's little striped bee butts everywhere. Oh, there's one in there now. There's a fly. There's the bees in there on that one. Oh my goodness, this is so yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy bee butt. So anyway, uh-oh. Laddie sees the flying thing. Get you something. Right there by his head, there's another bee. See him? Oh, yum. So I'm glad this is flowering and still providing them with something tasty. A good bit of news. Well, I'm totally packed, but a good bit of news this morning was that Paul did all his duties for last night and this morning. And he didn't bundle up the kitchen trash, but he got both cans to the curb. And this morning at 6:15 when I got up, the chicken doors were open and the food bowls in the kitchen were filled because the cats usually finish off the day before's food that night. There was food out here for chaos. And the only thing I couldn't see is if he topped off Laddie's food bowl. Laddie still got food in his bowl. So I told him that if it's easier for him, because, sometimes in the morning you're pressed for time, he can make sure at night at bedtime to make sure that the water bowls are filled and that there is a bowl of feed in here. And come winter, I'll probably only, you can put a single scoop in the outside bowl and the inside bowl. And then when it's cold winter, that's the heated dog bowl for their water. I need to fill up their little green water, but he seems to have done it all this morning. And kind of true to form for him, and what I expected was, so there was no way there's anybody here else to do it for him, he would step up. So that's encouraging, knowing that. So I don't know if I'll be here through to October. I don't know yet, but I told him this is my last month here, and he needed to get in the habit. I said, because part of it is just habit, like this morning, even without my alarm and not having a great night's sleep, I was wide awake at 6:15. I did try to go back to sleep, and I did for a little bit, a couple hours sporadically. But this last week, probably because everything's packed and the chickens are gone, I have not slept well. I mean, I've slept okay, but every night has been if not a nightmare, a very disturbing, convoluted dream about me leaving, money problems. Sometimes my ex-husband's in the picture. Ouch, mister, little turd. I don't know why. He hates these pants. He hates these pajama pants. And it's early, and he's feeling froggy. So yeah, he bit me, and I felt it, but look, he didn't even break the skin. Oops, sorry, my nails are dirty from messing around out here with the water hose. So it's about 60 something this morning, 62. There's no breeze, so it doesn't feel quite that cold, but hey, Laddie 2 feathers. So I'm just, even like falling back to sleep this morning at, I was up at 6:15. I checked that everything had gotten done. So by 6:30 I went back to bed. And I didn't sleep real solid because baby kitty felt like he needed to knead me, make biscuits on me, lay on me, and I had this crazy, horrible dream about having to travel, and it was just weird. For some reason, I traveled to Dallas to pick up my sister, who lives in Houston, my sister-in-law who lives in Houston, and for some reason we had to stop and get a U-Haul vehicle, but it was a little car or whatever. I don't remember. It was just, and being in conflict with some of my siblings. I don't know. It's just weird shit. So I think it's just part of anxiety and getting ready to make this big move. And as I've said, I couldn't always do it every year, but I tried to, especially when my mom was alive. At least once a year I traveled west to see my family. I think the most I ever went years without seeing my mother was like maybe 3. But some of my siblings I have, seen my brother and his family. I haven't seen them since 2020, when I only saw him. My sister-in-law didn't come to the family gathering, which was in honor of my aunt who passed, because she was all politically wrapped up in her political views, and because some of the family are Republican and some are Democrat, she didn't think she'd be able to keep her mouth shut. And so she didn't want to come. And I'm like, excuse me, this is a family gathering in honor of our aunt who, fought cancer for many years. It was to support my uncle and his children and my aunt. She loved 4th of July, so she always had a big 4th of July cookout. And in that little town in Oklahoma, you can fire off fireworks all over the neighborhood. You don't have to go see them, and it was always a big deal. And she loved it, and it was her favorite holiday, I think. And I was like, I didn't say anything to my brother, but I wanted to say, you know what? This is about honoring her and supporting our uncle. So why couldn't someone keep their mouth shut? Why would politics even have to figure into anything? So luckily my cousin's husband, he's this big black firefighter guy. He's like he's a sweet as pie, but when he said what he said, when he puts his foot down, he puts his foot down. And I've since learned from other family members that there is no talking religion or politics or sports at these big family gatherings. You just do not do it because, some of the families big OU Sooner fans, some of the families Oklahoma State Cowboy fans. Then you got the Hook 'em Horns Texas fans, and it's just not allowed. That's not what family gathering is about. But it blew my mind because the last thing I would want to talk about with any of my family, even if I was there all the time, would be religion, politics, or sports. Much less have debates with them or have anything, I had mentioned to someone that, and I think I mentioned it maybe in here before, that was one thing my mother told me about voting. When I was a teenager, I was maybe 16, so I was a couple years from getting a vote or something, and I was, I might have been a little younger, I don't know, and Mama went and voted, and she had a little sticker on her shirt that said, I voted, and I said, so who'd you vote for, Mom? And she looked me in the eye and said, well, that's none of your business. And I was like, what? Why does it matter? She's like, Because that's a very personal thing. You don't ask people who they voted for. It doesn't matter who they voted for. That is their personal choice, and it's none of your business. And I've always stuck with that. That just always resonated in my head, and that's true. So I know there's some people in the family who don't want to talk to other people and are at odds over political stuff. And if you're having a private conversation with someone else in the family and y'all have a tiff, that's between y'all. But when there's a family gathering, and for me, because I've been away from my family for almost 35 years, for so long, when I'm with them, I just want to hug them and chat about their kids or their grandbabies, or, just sit and share memories of, when we were kids. And just, the last thing would ever pop into my mind was to give a shit who they freaking voted for. We like to say in this country that everyone should vote, every vote counts. Well, I think that can be left up for debate. And, I vote my conscience. I don't declare a party. I am not even an independent anymore. I am just unaffiliated. So that keeps me on the primaries. But when it comes to big elections, I go make my choice. I've never voted a straight ticket in my life. I wouldn't. And I wouldn't vote for someone just because they're who the party. I refuse to label myself with somebody else's dogma. I'm sorry, but politics is one of the most crooked fields, full of liars and cheats, and it always has been. And the kind of people who go into politics are not typically people who are inherently good people. They are people who want power. They want to have control over something. Anyway, I think the country should have stayed a republic, just like it was founded as. But anyway, whatever. That's silly stuff. Here I am talking politics. I'm talking feelings about them, but not them. So Laddie, of course, got to have his morning lap time. But there's something about these striped pajama pants. I think because they're baggy and they sway, he doesn't like them. He doesn't like things that move out of his understanding. No, I love you so much. My neighbor finished, she crocheted me a chicken, and it looked kind of like Laddie. And she put crocheted two black feathers for his tail. And it's kind of a creamy buff color with, it was a square she already had made. But it's multiple colors in the middle. And it's got a little red, little small red comb on it. And she's like, well, I have this little crocheted heart that's supposed to go, on it. I'm like, why don't you stick that on top of that little bitty, comb that's already on the pattern. That way it will closer resemble his rose comb. Because from the top, when you look down on top of Laddie's comb, try to get a picture of it for her. Be still, Quasimodo. I don't know why I called him that, just popped in my head. It looks like a rose. He's like, I don't want that over my head. Well, then get down. Yeah, you're just being a wiggle worm. You're being a wiggly worm. So anyway, it's cute. It's, I said, you could, that's something she made my blanket, and she does great, beautiful crochet work, but she's got, bad knees. She's had both knees replaced, but it's time to replace them again, and she's not going to go through that surgery again. But, it's something to help keep her busy, and they're easy. And she's been going on Facebook and watching tutorials, and she's older, but she finds watching someone actually do it on screen, especially when in stitches or in patterns that she's not familiar with, it helps her, to watch the tutorial than just looking at a book where, there's little sketches of, a loop here and a loop there, and tells you what you're supposed to do. But yeah, it's cute. It's a little Laddie Roo, and she's going to stuff it with something. But I mentioned that in the video yesterday. But as you can see on the bush over by the front door, and all around over here on the other side of the garden and stuff, is that sweet autumn clematis. And I lied in a previous video when I said it didn't have a scent. I guess because it was just starting to bloom. Maybe I was a little stuffy. I wasn't able to smell it. But now that it's really in full bloom and there's large bunches of it, it does have a nice sweet smell. So I guess that works for its name. So I noticed yesterday, even with Laddie outside the gate, Cosmo was still acting a little aggressive. And after the couple times he's whooped up on Laddie, I have a feeling Laddie is really fearful of going in there. Last night at dark, I was trying to grab Laddie before he got up in the tree, but I think he's wise to the mama. He's like, I know what you're up to, woman. And so I can put him in there on the roost at night. Because like the one night that he spent the night in there, he got in there somehow. I mean, he slept up there with all the girls and Cosmo just fine. That is one of the techniques of integrating a new bird into the group, is to put them in there at night while they're all sleeping and docile, and then when they wake up in the morning, he's just there. It's just normal. Sorry, I'm developing a cough again. I don't know why. I think it's just hay fever drainage because we've had really cool weather and then we're getting back warm again. Things are going to seed, and things like the sweet autumn clematis and other things are starting to bloom. I'm sitting here holding this Red Bull and I haven't even took a drink. So we'll sit here and we'll listen to the cicadas and all the birds. And I figured out what this bird here is. It's up there on the branch. I don't know if you can see it. The little gray bird I've mentioned in videos with the split tail. It's a northern mockingbird. I don't think I'd ever seen one or knew what I was looking at. At first glance, I thought it was a really young female blue jay. And these are young ones. These are smaller than what the average mockingbird. Oh, there goes a monarch butterfly just flew by. So I'm going to drink on this a little bit, and we're just going to see what hops around in this tree and flies around from the flowers. So yeah, now I'm quiet and want to see what's flittering and fluttering around. Nothing is flittering and fluttering around. Oh, I didn't even notice Chaos came over here. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna sit in the chair. He doesn't sit there normally during the day, but he will sit there with me when I'm out here. He doesn't like to be in my lap when I'm in the swing because he doesn't, ouch, he doesn't like the motion. Stop it, mister. He was trying to, this phone case has a, what the heck? Has a stand that protrudes from it, and it's rose gold, so I think he was trying to peck at that. But over there, straight in the middle of the picture, we'll zoom in, all that white there, that's the sweet autumn clematis. And it smells so delightful. It's so beautiful. It's considered an invasive species, and it is very viney, but it's bloomed in different places on top of the old AC unit, which this house never had central air anyway. I don't know why it was there, but since I've lived here. And there's Mr. Cosmo. He's like, Mom, we want a treat. Yesterday they got peas. Yeah. Hey, Cosmo. So, yeah, the boys have been crowing this morning, and I can usually tell if I don't come out here shortly after in the morning, lately now, and spend time with Laddie, he crows. He stands outside my bedroom window and he crows at me. And I've noticed, like, if I'm in the bathroom and I quietly look out the curtain, I'm sitting there, they don't notice, but once I flush, here comes Laddie all of a sudden peering outside the window, and they're like, hey, we know she's in there. She made that weird growling noise. So we're gonna try to look at his comb again. Oh. Yeah? Your comb isn't like it's a private thing that you can't let us see. Oh my goodness. Book, 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 book. Hop down, we'll get a picture of your I'm gonna get a still shot of your comb after that. So anyways, it's been another morning ramble. I pick up some of the little pumpkins and bees and chickens, and the veggie garden's shot. The cherry tomatoes are still producing. I picked a bunch yesterday for the chickens, the boys, and I even got I'm gonna throw that clip in here somewhere of little Doug running around with a whole cherry tomato in his mouth. It's so cute. But the volunteer pumpkins still count. Yes, they still count. It's not like a regular garden. Why are you gonna be so argumentative sometimes? He's like, just shut up, Mom. There's no Grandpa. He's like, I wanted to scratch, but he falls over sometimes. But I told Paul, just get in the habit. I'm going to use some printer paper and make big white signs and stick them to the cabinet and round, I said I like to do things in like an order. I'm very orderly that way. Like, I try to do it efficiently. Like, so when I get up, I do my routine. I go to the bathroom, I grab my Red Bull, I make sure that you're not orderly about anything. Oh my God, you're Mr. Mouthy. I feed the cats inside, and while I'm feeding them, I grab the food for Chaos. I come out the front door, and I feed Chaos, and he starts eating, and then I make my way around to the chicken yard to open the door to the coop. And this time of year when it's still dark, sometimes Laddie's still up in his tree and they're not rushing out. Chickens don't rush out into the dark unless they just don't. They will stay in a coop and hide and try to stop. Don't argue with me. Stop interrupting. If a fox or a predator got in their coop, they wouldn't try to find a way out. They would just all flop around, or they go in a corner and cluster together for protection. So I don't worry about opening their gate that early in the morning. These are all roosters, and they're really good at protecting themselves and each other. But then I open that gate. And so by the time Laddie does get out of his tree and makes his way around to the cat food, a sweet Chaos, had his breakfast. So if before I leave, I can't get Laddie integrated into the coop, he'll remain a free ranger, and Paul will have to physically put him in the little coop, at bedtime, and catch him before it's, starts getting so dark that he gets up in the tree. Or he's going to have to let him in the house. I said, instead of that cat door or the front door, that Chaos doesn't even like to use it. It works fine, but he doesn't like to. You have to headbutt it. But Laddie can't fit in that cat door. I said, you can put a chicken door in there, an automatic chicken door, and train him to go into that front porch area. I said, but you're going to have to clean it up and put it in something that's a roost that is as high as the highest bookshelf, so he doesn't get up on the bookshelves and poop on top of them, which that'll be Paul's problem. And use the black tray from the little coop, and put some shavings on that, or not. What's up to you? But make him a roost above that, so he can go in the little chicken door in the front door. He can roost in that room, and his poo is only in a confined spot that's easy to clean. I'm like, you can put puppy pads down on that, something that just catches. My God. You're right here in front of me, mister. That catches the poop, easy to clean up. And, because I have a feeling, I don't know. It could just be me. He may not integrate. I want him to, I don't care what you want, mister. I want him to, if he's going to be outside all winter and at night in the winter, I want him to be able to snuggle with the other 3 boys for warmth. And I don't want him in the little coop by himself, because I'm going to take the brooder heater with me, because I'll eventually have chickens again. And it wasn't cheap. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the little gray bird on the roof. Let me zoom in. It's gray. Oh, it's running across the roof now. And it flew off. It's like, hey, I'm a bird. I'm a my thing. I don't care about your shoddy camera work. Oh, there it is back. It's back. It's back. That is a northern, or is that the dove? Now that's a young northern mockingbird. It's gray, and it has a gray and white tail. Split tail. Not as long as like a scissor-tail flycatcher. Which I know they're not just in Oklahoma, though that's the Oklahoma state bird. I asked my neighbor if she'd ever seen one here, and she's like, well, I've never heard of that bird. I'm like, okay, so I guess it's not here. So anyway, if he's going to sleep outside, he has to integrate into the coop with the other boys. So he has snuggle friends. Otherwise, I told Paul, I said, put it in a chicken door, an automatic chicken door on a timer, so that he and Chaos can come into that front porch area. You know, make a little warm bed for Chaos with the heating pad like I always did. And so that they can come in at night and sleep. And on cold, inclement days, they can go in there and sleep. So we'll see. I might have to, you know, and without me here nagging him to do it, he may do it. But that would be my idea. You know, you've already got a hole in the door for the cat door. Just make it a little bigger and put it in a little automatic chicken door. Put it on a timer so that, you know, then in the morning you can make sure Chaos is fed. And even if it's dark, you know, because it's going to be dark so much earlier, you can, they can go out, in and out. Those two can go in and out. So we'll see. I just don't want Laddie sleeping by himself all winter or up in the tree in inclement weather. Because as smart as he thinks he is, and you know he thinks he's the bomb, there's his little comb, would still want to get in the tree. So we'll see. I don't know how much longer I'll be here, but I'll keep working with him and keep snuggling him and keep making videos of me sitting in the swing talking to a chicken and talking to all the Wilma and Rose and Metro Mom. I don't know. Her little, when she talks, instead of a picture, it's a J. Anyway, she's in Arkansas. I've got people in North Carolina and some of the main ones that always comment and enjoy the videos. So anyway, and to Chicks and Chucks, or Chucks and Chicks. I don't know, I'm drawing a blank. It's too early in the morning. Over in England, she has saramas, and if you've never followed her page, I'll try to figure out how to put a link to her page down there, but it's called Chucks and Chicks, or Chicks and Chucks, but she has a little chicken page, but she has a wonderful little garden and habitat set up in her home, in her backyard. I don't think she really lives rural, but she has just the most beautiful little saramas, and they have such great personality, and she can handle all of them, and I don't know, it's just wonderful. Check out her channel. But anyway, I'm gonna finish my drink here and get this video posted. Love you guys. Like and share. Bye.